Wow, I see a lot of people still here before lunch, and I'm surprised. Give yourself a round of applause. Well, as they say, I'm the only thing standing between you and lunch, so let's move this along. I have a little slideshow I'm going to show you here, and of course give you a summary of what really took place at the Council on Legislation. First of all, it is our legislative body. It's an opportunity for clubs and districts and some of the officials of Rotary to make suggestions on how we can tweak our Constitution and bylaws and make our organization a better organization and more efficient. So just go through real quickly what this looks like. We met at the Hyatt Regency downtown in Chicago, and this is the meeting room. So it's very well organized, very high, a lot of technology is in the background here. But one of the highlights, besides all the voting and so on, one of the highlights was right here. If you get a chance, look in the way back of this photo near the 3-minute mark. That's one of the 520 representatives of the 300 that were there. He came from the Ukraine, all the way to make sure he was able to fulfill his responsibility. And that was an amazing accomplishment, and our president, Shaker Mehta, brought him up for a total recognition and standing ovation. So that was amazing, one of the beautiful parts of this. When we first began this process, we were reminded that what we're going to do is to do as much to help grow Rotary into the future and to create actions that are going to have the biggest impact throughout our Rotary world. So that was always in the back of our mind, but put this in a little bit of perspective. The population of Rotary, President Barry, I've heard that it's 1.4. This is what we read. But if you look at how it's developed, that the Asian population, the Asian Rotarians, make up the largest majority of Rotary right now. So U.S., Canada, and Caribbean is number 2, so to speak, in the population of Rotarians. That does have an impact in some cases during some of this legislative process. So it was a hybrid meeting because of COVID and because of visas and passports and so on, that only about 320 delegates were actually able to go to Chicago. So we were in person, but the other 40% were on Zoom, and we've all known what Zoom is like. So can you imagine, we're doing our legislative work between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. There were people on the other side of the world getting up at 9 p.m. at night and staying up all night in order to participate in this process. And that was quite a commitment. So we were required to bring a certain amount of technology, whether it's a laptop or an iPad or something like that. In this way, we could constantly keep all the amendments and resolutions in front of us. This is all electronic, very, very sophisticated stuff. And when it came down to the voting, it was like a little BlackBerry item there that we had, and you voted yes or no. So it was just wonderful, and the process was very, very speedy. And in the room itself, the meeting room, there were about 4 stations where you could get up and voice your opinion for or against some of the legislation. And here's our President Mehta, who was able to come up or was able to step to the podium, and he had an opportunity. Our President-elect Jennifer also was one of those. So it was a very democratic process, believe me. So the voting results are 93 enactments, but about 14 of them were withdrawn for various reasons. 51 of them were rejected for various reasons, and 28 of them were adopted. So I just want to touch on just 3 of these in general. These are the ones that are going to affect you and I. And of course, the dues was increased, and you're going to see this increase over a 3-year period. DEI, as we've been talking about for the last hour and a half, well, the diversity was always part of our description, but we codified the D, E, and I to make it all inclusive into that definition. And they removed the requirement that members had to work or reside in a community of their club. Of course, many of the clubs in our district have been doing this and going outside their regions already. But I just want to close by showing you the A-team from District 6400 that were there. And you can see President-elect Jennifer with her bodyguards on either side of her. And it's Mike McCullough and past director, and of course Neil Macbeth, who was Sergeant of Arms. And I just want to thank all of you for allowing me to have the opportunity to represent you at this Council on Legislation. It was an amazing process. Thank you very much.